Hi, I'm Evin Shutt, Global Chief Executive Officer at 72andSunny. Welcome to the Sunny Series. We're here coming to you live from Stagwell's Sport Beach Clubhouse during Super Bowl week in New Orleans, where we're celebrating the intersection of sport, culture, and fandom. I'm joined here by Andy Kauffman, the Chief Commercial Officer at Marriott for USA and Canada. Thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's always fun to be with my friends at 72.
It's so great to see you, and we'll talk about your past and where you are now. First of all, congratulations on the new role.
Thank you.
You were saying earlier, 12 days in.
Yeah, 12 days in.
How's it going?
It's going great. I am a boomerang. So I prior to being at the NFL, I was with Marriott for 11 years, and so I was telling someone outside, it's like when you go home and someone has changed how maybe your mom painted your rooms and changed the curtains, but at night when the lights are out, you still remember exactly how many steps it takes to get to the stairs. It's a lot of muscle memory that's being unlocked in those first 12 days, but I'm super pumped about that, about the job. It's a real honor to take on this role, to have responsibility for such a company that so many in our industry obviously interact with. It's been around for 100 years, that I had previously worked at, an industry I love so much, but then to have the responsibility for all top line revenue. So that means sales, revenue management, pricing, marketing, partnerships, communications, to really have that end-to-end responsibility is a real honor. I'm thrilled to have it.
It's really exciting. How lucky are they that you're there?
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing. Well, tell us what Marriott has going on here this week.
Yeah, it's Super Bowl is such an amazing week, and it's an incredible week for us. Marriott, through our Courtyard brand, as well as Marriott Bonvoy, our official partners of the NFL. Courtyard is the official hotel of the NFL. We've been activating some really innovative programs all season long, centered around Jason Kelce as our first one and only fan ambassador. We've been doing a lot of activations throughout the year that culminated here in New Orleans with a few winners coming, with a chance to stay in our Courtyard suite in the stadium on Saturday night, the night before the game.
So you turn one of the fancy suites, corporate suites, into a hotel room.
We do. We turn it into. We've been doing that for years. It's sort of the cornerstone of the program. But this year we added a new twist to it, which is how can we pick the winner? So we had a season-long contest that brought some finalists here, and then little did they know they were going to have a scavenger hunt to find the real Jason Kelce. So we embedded a series of Jason Kelce lookalikes around the city. And then one lucky winner found the real Jason Kelce, and he did the grand reveal and took him to the suite. And they'll stay there Saturday evening with some goodies along the way.
That's amazing. I want to know what the casting was like to find the Jason Kelce.
It was really amazing, and everyone had a ton of fun. And then what we also do for our Marriott Bonvoy members is we do a series of membership value adds, membership experience that they can bid on, once in a lifetime experiences. They come here for Super Bowl and do some really blessed experiences that they'll use their points to do. And then we host a series of members also at a brunch on Sunday, and then we convert the suite that was a Courtyard room overnight. We convert it into a hospitality area for the game, and we host members there too.
That's amazing. I also, by the way, Bonvoy member over here. My kids also play club sports, so I feel like I personally am a huge funder of the Courtyard Marriott.
I love it. Huge part of our business. Huge.
Well, tell me more about your partnership with the NFL and how you think about partnerships. I love, you have obviously insight into the NFL and the data and how it all works. But when you think about it, and now at Marriott, and you think about the value of partnerships, what's important to you and how do you evaluate those?
Yeah, we look at partnerships through three different tiers that we actually apply to the NFL, and I'll give you those in a moment. But it actually starts with what our core mission is. And our core mission as a company is to connect people through the power of travel. And centered around that power of travel are people's passion points. When you pull on those passion points, big ones start to center around sports. They center around food and culinary. They center around music. So a lot of our partnerships are centered around those categories. And then we have a number of others that we may do regionally. So in sports, what we tend to do is focus on three different aspects to the partnership. First and foremost, it starts with having a commercial relationship. I mentioned I run our top line revenue. That means I spend money, but I also am charged with driving revenue for the company. And so every relationship we look at needs to be rooted in how can we help our partner's business, and thus in turn, how can they help us with our revenue goals, our group goals, our convention and room block goals. And so it becomes a mutually beneficial commercial relationship. That's the core. Then on top of that, we build a marketing relationship that obviously brings with it a series of assets that allow us to market more effectively by co-branding with our partner. We tend to orient that in twofold. First, it gets linked to one of our hotel brands. So we mentioned Courtyard. Here with the NFL, Courtyard is the official hotel of the NFL. For our NCAA relationship, which not only includes men but also women's sports.
Now that we can say March Madness for women's sports too.
Without a doubt, and you will be activating heavily both in Tampa and San Antonio. And that centers around our Fairfield brand that prepares people for their game day rituals. And then the final leg of the stool, so to speak, or this three-legged stool, is our Marriott Bonvoy activation, our membership program. How do we take the assets of our partners and create better experiences for our members, whether that's experiences they can bid on through our Moments platform, or surprise and delight moments for members, or other activations that we can do throughout the season.
The constant theme, first of all, that's so helpful and amazing perspective and so smart. It seems like things that should be obvious, but it's not. I think sports partnerships and partnerships in general can be really daunting, and the way you've broken it down is so clear.
They can, and for a business, I mean, look at us. We're a house of brands and a branded house at the same time. We're a platform business and a series of brands that's all linked through a membership program. So that's a complicated business in its own right. Now add with it the passions and the reasons why people want to travel, and how can you work with a partner to activate that together and do so in a way that becomes commercially viable and beneficial to each. It can be complicated, but we do think we have a winning formula.
I just also love that your through line here is about the members and your consumers, and what do they want, what do they need, their passions. I don't think you've answered anything that hasn't started there yet. Tell me about jumping into that world that's, a very different audience, some overlap with like you had at the NFL, and learning about the Marriott member and consumer, and you've been there before. How's it evolved? I'm curious on that.
Yeah, Marriott has a very simple philosophy because we are a people-based business. You take care of your associates so that they're happy, and thus they'll take care of your guests so that they're happy, and if they're happy, they'll come back. That's been at the root of the business from day one. We are a people-based people. We are powered by people. We are powered by our members. Whatever phrase you want to apply, the core of it is people. And so it really does start there. And in doing so, it starts with our travelers on what their needs are. And how do we have the right brand that fits each of their needs? When it comes to sports, we like to think of ourselves as having the right hotel brand for every fan's needs. Whether that is an incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience at the Super Bowl, or as you said, traveling on the weekend to a youth sports event and staying in one of our select service brands along the way.
That's so good. What are you most excited about as you look ahead to this year?
Well,
we made it through January, so let's talk February onward.
It is amazing. What was the phrase? Can we get a restart on February 1st?
Yes.
It's hard to. I'm incredibly optimistic for what's ahead, but also want to look in the past and recognize of what we just all went through. Tremendous tragedy on a lot of different fronts, and that's taxing on people. But when I look at the future, when I look at the economic model for travel specifically in our business, I'm quite bullish on what the future looks like. I'm bullish on both our core products and brands. I'm incredibly bullish on where we're taking our luxury portfolio of brands, which is industry leading. And we're also emerging now in what we call in the industry a mid-scale space, which allows for a suite of brands that we haven't historically played in, but a lot of travelers have asked us to be in that space, back to a brand for every fan's needs. And so I'm incredibly excited for just further expansion. We have a phrase at the company that Mr. Marriott's favorite word is growth and more, and I think that's what's ahead for us.
I love it. Well, we say if you're not growing, you're probably shrinking, right?
Exactly.
And it's way more fun to grow than it is to shrink.
We were just talking about that. It sure is.
Yeah. You've worked with lots of agencies. What's important to you in an agency relationship?
The agency relationship is so critical to all of our success. I've never been a fan of the sort of traditional agency model of like, let me throw it over the wall of the agency and then have it come back. The way I've historically and to this day still do treat agencies is they're an extension of the team. When you come into our meetings, I don't care who pays your paycheck or what business card you have or what your LinkedIn profile has. Everyone is centered around this is our goals and this is the cross-functional team to get it done. And in that regard, our agency is a thought partner, is an executional partner, and should be pushing us to grow and to think differently as much as we're pushing them to execute flawlessly.
It's the only way to do this well, right?
Only
it's
way
so
to do
well
this
said
well.
to be like, let's put it all in one table and we'll all get around it.
Without a doubt. The other thing I'll say is I have had the experience over the years of seeing some leaders that manage agencies well and then others that don't. And so sometimes you learn from the bad experiences as much as you do the good. Most recently, witnessing my past boss at the NFL and how he works with you all, with other agencies, treats them as an extension of the team, always approaches it with humility, it's the only way to do it. And I'll take that with me no matter where I go.
Well, and you've been an amazing partner too. And it was, I think a lot of the success that we've collectively seen at the NFL and, what that has meant for 72 and Sunny is a lot about
without a doubt. And you see it comes through the work. The work gets better. You can literally see the joy of the people working on it through the quality of the work.
It's really hard to make something joyful if you're not having a good time doing it.
Without a doubt.
Right?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And these are, working at the NFL and now at Marriott are incredible experiences, incredible experience brands that make millions and millions and billions of people feel joy in their lives. And I feel very blessed to do that and feel blessed to work with great partners to make it happen.
So good. And now you talked about NFL. You talked a little bit about the Fairfield and partnership with NCAA. Do you want to talk any more about collegiate sports?
Yeah, collegiate sports is big. I mean, collegiate sports is a big part of our business. The NCAA is a really, really important partner that we have. Women's sports in general is incredibly important to us. I mentioned that we'll be activating our NCAA relationship at both the men's and women's Final Four, as well as throughout all of March Madness. But also, that's just the tip of the spear. We work with a series of different sports, both men and women, through the NCAA and Learfield relationships. We also have a relationship with the U.S. Soccer Federation, which connects us with the U.S. Women's National Team. And that is, come on. It's the best of the best. Incredible stars, incredible talent, and excited to see where we take that.
So interesting. And it feels like a whole new landscape with NIL and everything for you all to dive into that.
An uncharted landscape I think we're all navigating that together. It's a bit of the Wild Wild West, but we're certainly figuring it out.
Well, as a volleyball fan, I'm excited. I think Maddie Skinner is
She is.
Yep. I caught her in there.
Nice.
And now the new Women's Pro Volleyball League that's launched too. So it's
right.
exciting.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I will be doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on that for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
fun.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much for joining me at Stagwell Sport Beach Clubhouse for this energizing conversation, Ian. This was wonderful.
Well, thank you, Damani. You are phenomenal.
That's it for now. Be sure to catch all of the action from Super Week on 72 and Sunny's social channels.